Let's go.
Then after you have great coaches, you get great players, you have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
What is good, Raider Nation? It's your boy Raider Alex back with yet another video for you guys. Anybody that's new to the channel, you guys love Raider related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Also make sure to hit that bell notification, that way you get notified every time I post a video just like this one. Without further ado, let's jump right into the topic of this video. The Las Vegas Raiders today faced up against the San Francisco 49ers in a scrimmage where our starters both on offense and on defense were able to go up against different players outside of the same players they've been going against in this roster during training camp. And reportedly, the Raiders offense and Jimmy Garoppolo did pretty well today, and Jimmy Garoppolo was able to connect with our tight end Austin Hooper for a touchdown pass. Now, one thing I just wanted to touch on real quick was the fact that the Raiders' first official depth chart has been officially released, and one of the biggest surprises so far has been the fact that Austin Hooper is currently starting over our rookie tight end Michael Mayer, a guy who I was very excited about when we ended up drafting him. Now, it is just the first depth chart, so maybe Mayer could end up winning out the job and becoming the starter week 1, but does this concern me when it comes to the development of Michael Mayer? Look, not necessarily, because Austin Hooper too is no slouch. I thought he was actually a pretty nice, sneaky, under the radar type of signing from the Raiders this year in their free agency period, and it is going to be a little bit difficult for a guy like Michael Mayer to be ahead of a guy like Hooper, who is a veteran in the National Football League and a guy who has had so much experience in the NFL just compared to Michael Mayer. Also, I wouldn't be surprised too if we end up running a lot more 12 personnel with both tight ends on the field at the same time, pretty similar to how the Patriots ended up utilizing the 2 tight end sets with Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez. So look, I'm not super worried about that, but Raider Nation, the thing that has me and a lot of other people excited is the fact that the Raiders defense hype is continuing to grow this offseason. The Raiders defense is starting to turn some heads. The Raiders, throughout the past week or so, they've been able to generate a lot of turnovers on this offense, and a lot of people were definitely very skeptical and kind of hesitant on the fact of the hype surrounding this defense. Maybe they attributed to the fact that maybe our offense isn't really up to speed, that Jimmy Garoppolo is a bit rusty, things of that nature. But the Raiders defense continued to impress today against the 49ers and quarterback Brock Purdy, as our corner Duke Shelley was able to come down with an interception against him. And according to Hondo Carpenter, he had high remarks to say about this defense, and overall he stated the fact that the Raiders ended up winning the day over the San Francisco 49ers. He also stated that our defensive end Maxx Crosby was the best player today on that field, and I just love to hear this. This is really going to be another big year for Maxx Crosby. I feel like Maxx Crosby really just appears to be motivated as the heart and soul of this defense, and he's been coming out and saying that he's taking this year personal when it comes to making sure this defense won't be near the top 5 of the league, like this defense has been for so many years now. Maxx Crosby also said that he is sick of not making the playoffs, and this is exactly the type of message you really need to hear from your star player. So I am very excited about that. Another thing I really liked to see today was another tweet for Hondo Carpenter. And in the tweet, he talked about how engaged the Raiders were when the other side of the ball was on the field. So when the defense was out there, the offense was tuned in, vice versa with the defense. And this is something that he claims that wasn't the case more times than not last season, and that was really a big problem from this team. This year, the team appears to be a lot more united and in sync with one another compared to last season, and it really just feels like the Raiders' mentality and the identity of this team is starting to shift in the right direction. I am very excited to hear that the defense is continuing to show out. Not only that, the depth on this defense is something very encouraging to see, and just the overall competition between these players is something very exciting to hear about. Whoever is playing the best will be out there on the field next season, and a lot of our rookies like cornerback Jacorian Bennett, and also surprise so far is defensive tackle Nesta Jade Silvera has been performing very well thus far. So look, for a guy like Neil Farrell Jr. who hasn't really been out on the field so far, yo, he better step it up, because if not, Silvera is going to take his spot. What's crazy too is the Raiders are also banking on our first round pick Tyree Wilson to get back on the field, and he could really be a huge X factor for this team, for this defense, for the Raiders. If he can get on that field and contribute to the D-line, then yo, watch out, this defensive line could be very scary. But it's also crazy that the Raiders defense is getting this much hype and Tyree Wilson hasn't even been out there once yet. You can also add the fact that Byron Young is now healthy and getting some meaningful reps and snaps. He's a player too that showed that he could get to the quarterback back in college. So hopefully that can continue and be the case at the next level. Now, I don't want to drive the hype train up too much for the Raiders, because at the end of the day, we know all this won't matter if the Raiders can't perform next month in the regular season, where it really matters. At the end of the day, training camp, it is what it is. It's essentially just practice. The Raiders have been looking very good out there on defense and on offense. This is great news to hear, but if it doesn't translate into the next season, then it won't really matter at all. We need to see the same things we've been hearing about in this training camp, like the added speed, the added physicality, just the overall chemistry, and the team being united. We need to see all these different things in the regular season, and most importantly, we need to show that we can be consistent and be able to get stronger and stronger throughout just the long process of the regular season, where more than likely you're gonna face some tough injuries, some tough losses, and you're just gonna have to learn how to bounce back from that. This team is gonna have to show that they're resilient out there. But Raider Nation, let me know, what are your guys' thoughts and opinions about the latest news of the Raiders doing well in the scrimmage today? Is it just hype, or is there something to it? Let me know. With that being said, that's all I have for you guys in today's video. Anybody that's new, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. That being said, I will see you guys in the next one.